Well, Jane, we're so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for your time and your support. Really are happy for that.
I'm thrilled to be here, Erik.
Well, looking forward to our conversation. And so let's start big picture first. Miami-Dade County, we have the Office of Environmental Risk and Resilience. Let's talk about that. Who are they? What do they do?
So the Office of Environmental Risk and Resilience reports directly to our mayor, who cares deeply about all the climate and environmental impacts facing our community and wants to make sure that Miami-Dade County is future ready to sea level rise and increasing flood risk, to hurricanes, to making sure our Biscayne Bay is healthy, and now extreme heat.
With all the natural hazards that South Florida experiences, excessive heat has been an issue, especially in recent summers. So that's been added to the whole package, hasn't it?
Miami-Dade County, we're known internationally for our risks, hurricanes and sea level rise, and we've been working on creating great systems for both mitigating and managing those risks for quite some time. But in 2020, our mayor heard from community-based organizations who had done a series of focus groups and surveys in our more vulnerable communities about what their top concerns were related to climate change. And it wasn't sea level rise, and it wasn't even hurricane risk, even though Hurricane Irma hit those communities pretty hard. It was extreme heat. And our mayor heard that and decided we needed a chief focused on this to work across departments and externally with our stakeholder partners on developing strategies for reducing the increasing health risks and economic burdens associated with extreme heat.
And to have this focus in a local community and have a chief heat officer, this is unique, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was the first to receive this title in the world. It's a new field. Not that cities haven't been addressing extreme heat prior to this, they have. But to have a senior position that is looking across, not just from an emergency management perspective or a long-term planning perspective, but really looking at all of those areas and how do we develop the best programmatic and policy response to extreme heat.
Let's talk about defining extreme heat and then now, how it affects our health.
Extreme heat is defined as when you're exposed to a heat index of 90 degrees Fahrenheit or more for 2 to 3 days. Now, that's about 5-6 months of the year here in Miami-Dade County. We're all at risk, but certain populations are either more sensitive to heat, elderly, pregnant people, young children, people with pre-existing heart or lung conditions, diabetes, people on certain medications, diuretics, certain SSRIs for anxiety or depression. All of those can make you more sensitive to heat. And then there are people who are more exposed, either because they're unhoused or they work outside.
So there's been programs now generated from you and your office, and I guess part of that has been a heat action plan. What are some of the things that have been doing under that?
Yeah, so we have 3 main goals in our extreme heat action plan. One is to prepare and inform people. The second is to help people stay cool at home affordably and make sure our emergency facilities have enough backup power to keep people cool in the event of that compound risk of a widespread power outage, say in a hurricane. And then the third goal is to cool our neighborhoods, to reduce that urban heat island effect. We're getting hotter here not only because of climate change, but how we develop as a city. More asphalt, less green space, less trees, more waste heat from our buildings, from our vehicles. All of that contribute to our urban areas being 10 to 15 degrees hotter than our more rural areas.
You're aware of our big project here, the Mellon-funded Commons for Justice project, and there's various communities that are involved, just naming a few: Alapata, Overtown, Little Haiti, and so on. Can you talk about how you maybe have been working with these specific communities?
Sure. So we've partnered with various organizations on making sure we provide community volunteer training. First we did heat safety, and then we expanded it to extreme weather. We talked about those integrated impacts earlier. So we know that our heat, flood, and hurricane season are pretty well overlapped.
Right.
So we want to make sure people are prepared for all three. So we give them training on not only how you prevent heat-related illnesses, but knowing the signs of different types, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and how to respond.
So you've talked about how you've been working with them or assisting them. How best can they work with you?
Oh, great question. Certainly to sign up for our trainings and be informed and prepared to not only take care of yourself, but your loved ones and your neighbors. Secondly, to be an advocate for cooling neighborhoods in your neighborhood. We have it on our miamidade.gov/heat website, lots of resources of how people can stay cool at home affordably, whether you're a renter or a homeowner.
So we've talked about those programs. Anything kind of new and upcoming or innovative that you want to share?
I'm really excited about a partnership we've just launched with Citizens for a Better South Florida. They have been working for decades in vulnerable communities to educate and help them green their neighborhoods. And so we've recruited what we're calling tree leaders from our low canopy, low income neighborhoods to be advocates and be trained on how to properly select where to plant a tree, what kind of tree to plant in the right place, how to care for, make sure, and how to be an advocate to preserve our mature trees that are out there. And then they're going to help us organize tree activation events.
So with Miami-Dade County being really a leader for the country in resilience, connected with, and you've mentioned it already, climate change issues that we're looking at, excessive heat, sea level rise, and so on. Have we learned some things in the past that will help us now moving forward in the future?
If you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. And that takes a lot of engagement. It takes engaging residents and community-based organizations, our private sector partners, our municipalities. We have 34 in Miami-Dade County. Our university partners are all involved in our Resilient 305 strategy, in our extreme heat action plan, in our recently released urban forestry plan. It takes all hands on deck to help our community be that future ready Miami-Dade.
So for all of us, where can all of us go to get some of the best resources and information?
On extreme heat, our website is pretty robust. It's www.miamidade.gov/heat.
So with this topic and these efforts, why should we care?
I think our future depends on our ability to face these increasing threats. We do have solutions, but it does take investment, it takes time, it takes energy to prepare our community and adapt for that future.
Well, Jane, we thank you so much for your time and your support for our project and for what you and your team have been doing for South Florida and you personally as well. We really appreciate it, and thank you for being a part of this whole team effort. Like you said, you can't do it alone. It has to take all of us together.
Well, on that note, thank FIU for its strong partnership throughout it all.
Thank you.